It all started a couple of months ago when I found out that my building in Grand Center had some damage. The building had to be condemned right away. I immediately looked for spaces. I went to look at 17 spaces within a week and found this place in Clayton, which was pretty much ready to go. This is my 11th season in St. Louis, and I'm going to show 6 artists. Chris Kahler has been showing with the gallery for many years, and this is a brand new series of his work. They're kind of like a non-objective abstraction landscape. Michael Jantzen, he's mostly a sculptor but photographer too. He collects chairs, so he went around his collection and he takes pictures of his chairs and he digitally deconstructs the chairs.
Undocumented. It's comprised of 600 ceramic handmade objects that I made myself. I'm thinking about function of objects, but also function of space and how I can delineate and communicate a sense of access or inaccess. The history of the ceramics that I'm working with deals with the European-Asian relationship of trade, but then it also, I think about new objects, new meanings, new presence, and a means of thinking about the vessel as a metonomic signifier for the body, but also allowing for processes, practices, types of materials to exist on a level playing field. So that's why I raise the ceramic objects up above anything else that anyone may be saying or thinking about ceramics or clay, that clay is non-traditional when it is quite traditional.
Not a passive journey. It's a recording and an exploration of the cities that I traveled to, 10 cities over the last 18 months. I'm a practicing architect and have studied the patterns of urbanity, the patterns that cities are made, the kinds of objects and spaces that are used over thousands of years. And I started sketching those just as an architect to record forms and spaces, but eventually I looked at them as possible paintings and art pieces and got more serious about doing multiples. This exhibit has 22 prints in it, and I probably produced maybe 150 actual paintings to get to these different prints. As I go to the city, I look for an iconic space or iconic pieces in the city, be they towers, obelisks, parks, and then I try to pick a space that is very evocative to me of that icon. And then after I come back from my travels, after I have a series of paintings, I will process them in Lightroom and with a large format printer.
Swing is a life-size chandelier composed of used automobile parts such as headlight plastic and taillight plastic. And I use these materials because they are sourced from bodies of cars that I've encountered in the junkyard. And my work really has to deal with identity. And the reason why I use these cars from the junkyard is because I believe that automobiles become an extension of ourselves. And I could very clearly see why the automobile was discarded in the first place. But when I look into these cars, I see the objects that are left behind, and I can immediately see the type of person that maybe have driven the car. And I get to meet that person.
It's based on travel footage that was gathered mostly in the 90s. During that time, I did a lot of traveling and a lot of shooting and recording of sound. And I carried that footage and those shots around with me for decades and slowly sort of built them into a piece. And I dream about travel a lot, and with Travel Dream, I wanted to construct a dream for the viewer. The whole dream idea was very freeing for my editing because I could take that and do whatever I wanted to with it. And I did a lot of sound location recording and created some of my own music. India, Nepal, Egypt, Europe, China, Japan. Just went on a travel binge for a few years and image gathering, sort of gluttonous rage of collecting images. So I was really after the exotic and the kind of places I actually dream about at night sometimes. It was sort of interesting in this piece. As I was working on it, I was dreaming about it. So the dreams and the video kind of fed into one another. I do a lot of mixing and combining shots. So when I would see a particular feature that would combine with something else, I would sense that I could weld these two spaces and these two times and places together in an interesting way. Well, Bruno and I have been working together for a number of years. I'm really excited about being part of this inaugural celebration for his amazing new space.
It's difficult to promote and show regional and local artists. It's more challenging. Art dealers can be a merchant or they can be a supporter of artists. I'd rather be a supporter of the artist.